Can I avoid bunion surgery if I have a bunion? Make sure you watch this video because I've got some great tips on how you can avoid bunion surgery if you have bunions. And the good news is the answer is yes in 90% of cases. So my name's Daniel Fitzpatrick from Sydney Foot Solutions. I'm a podiatrist and we've successfully been treating bunions with conservative management approaches for over 20 years and helping people avoid bunion surgery long term. And in our experience, 90% of cases can avoid bunion surgery if it's handled correctly and handled early enough. So make sure you watch this video. I'm going to take you through the fact that yes, you can in most cases, how you can actually do it, and why you can actually do it. So the reality is that most people think that the only option is that they just need to leave a bunion before it gets bad enough, and then they need to consider bunion or surgical intervention for their bunion. So the reality is that in most cases you can avoid the need for surgical intervention, and in fact we do it all the time. But what most ethical surgeons won't operate on you until the bunion is fairly extreme or fairly significant anyway. And normally they'll operate for two reasons. One is usually because the bunion is so bad there's no other option, or two, you're having crippling pain and can't walk. In fact, we often hear people have been to see the surgeon and the surgeon will say, come back and see me when you can't walk. And so the reason we started seeing so many bunions is not to take the place of surgery. It's because so many people have a bunion and would like to avoid a bunion. And the reality is that just leaving a bunion and waiting for it to get so bad over a decade or 2 decades is one, very painful, two, not very nice, and not a very effective way of doing it. So the reality is that we attract lots and lots of bunions to our clinic, and we can usually successfully treat a bunion with conservative management. The way that we do that, I'll go into later in this video, but it's important you understand why you get a bunion, and then you'll probably understand why you can actually treat it conservatively. So the reason you get a bunion is because of the way you stand and the way you walk, which is affected by a level of misalignment through your foot and ankle. And that level of misalignment through your foot and ankle causes a level of compensation in the way you stand and the way you walk, which causes a deviation through your big toe. And so the upside is that you can improve that level of alignment in a few different ways, which I'll go into later in this video. And you can actually improve the long-term function and the long-term outcome. So the reality is that the way we go about it is that we get people in for an initial assessment. If you do want an initial assessment, click on the link below. We've got a 60% off initial assessment offer just for bunions. So make sure you check it out so you can come in and get personalized advice. So come in for an assessment, and then if indicated, we send for a weight-bearing x-ray, which allows us to measure the level of deviation through your big toe and allows us to measure the level of deviation through here. And then we come up with a plan around that, and the x-ray dictates heavily what we say next. The way we treat this is just a gentle hands-on technique, and then we combine that with exercise to support those changes so that we not only improve the way you stand, the way you walk, but also improve the alignment of your big toe. And in the vast majority of cases that we do see, most people we see avoid the need for surgical intervention, and it's only in extreme cases that they need to consider the surgery. And most people want to avoid the surgery because of the layoff. The downtime is 6 to 8 weeks. Surgeons in this area are charging upwards of about $7,000 per foot. There's a 12-month recovery in terms of before the swelling stops. So if you'd like to avoid surgery, the answer is yes, you can avoid surgery in the vast majority of cases. And in fact, we have been successfully treating bunions for over 20 years. And the reality is it is quite feasible to avoid the need for surgical intervention. Anyway, if you would like to avoid surgery for your bunion, check out the link below. It's 60% off to get your bunion assessed. I hope this has been helpful. If you like this video, click like and subscribe to our channel. We try and produce heaps of good content, particularly on bunions and other foot problems, and we're here to try and help you as much as we can.